Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, depending on when you're watching this. This is Monday the 26th? Yes, 26th. And I've decided to do another Monday vlog. So, I have my cup of tea. I'm currently cozied up with a blanket because it's just a little bit cold. I do have a YouTube on at the moment just whilst I enjoy my tea. We have an Oogie, but she is off screen at the moment. And she's looking like a mixture between play with me and feed me. So we'll see how that goes. We were meant to be out today. I was meant to be with my family today, just out for coffee, nothing bad. But unfortunately, the little Oogie monster was a little unwell yesterday. Excuse me. And it's the same thing we had her at the vet at in December, which cost us around £300, and they had no answers for us. So I'm just home keeping an eye on her. We are hoping to move her on to new food in case it's the food that's upsetting her. But she is a very food motivated cat. She is after my own heart. And it would appear the new food doesn't maybe fill her up as much. So it's proving a little difficult, to say the least. But it's why I keep kind of looking away. Oh, she's coming over, but I don't think she's going to jump up. She may. Oh, you going to prove me wrong? You coming up? Come on, up you come. Wow. You may see a tail in a minute. Tail. She might now just cuddle up on my lap and come for a wee cuddle and a wee snooze. But yes, we were meant to be out today. The video was going to be a wee bit more interesting than it actually is now, unfortunately. But we're going to get so much crafting done today. Today is going to be a craft heavy day for sure. I recorded a video a couple of days ago where I was going through the whips that I've brought into 2026. And one of them is a hat for my mum. And I picked that up yesterday and I frogged it. I frogged the colour work twice because the first time I was absolutely convinced that I had put the colours in the wrong position, when in actual fact I just had a proper brain fart and was being really dim about something. And so when I got like 6 or 8 rows into the new colour order, it turns out I was right the first time and I should never have frogged it. So I'm now, I want to say back on track, but this is not my best colour work. I do not think these two yarns should have been put together as a kit, because I don't have the best lighting. I do have the curtains shut because I live in a very obvious area and don't want anyone to get my address. But so it starts a very light pink, and then it gets a bit darker and a bit darker, and then it goes into a very, very dark purple. And then the main colour is quite a dark grey. And so the contrast just isn't there for this pattern. And that's a little off-putting. It's a little disheartening when you're doing the colour work, especially knowing it's going to be for someone else. And it's also just not my best colour work. I don't know if that's because I'm out of touch with colour work, or the grey is a plied yarn, 2 if not 3 plies, and the purpley pink yarn is a single spun yarn, so there is a thickness difference. So in that respect, I don't think it should have been put together as a kit. And then with the colour, the contrast option, I don't think it should ever have been put together as a kit either. But I will power through. I am around row 20 or 21 and there's 35 rows of colour work. So I'd like to maybe get the colour work finished today. Sorry, I've got a cat cutely staring up at me. Excuse me. So I'd like to get the colour work finished today, but I also want to get a chunk of work done on some of my projects. If you watch the video that's coming out later today, which is all the whips I brought into 2026, I sat down and I kind of prioritized them. I was just like, okay, which ones can I get finished first? So I've got the hat that I'm doing, that should be the first one. And then at the end, I was left with 4 blankets that just kind of fell into no man's land or limbo or insert option of word. And then something just made me think. My coziest memories blanket, I'd already kind of decided that I was going to try and pick up at least on a Monday. And the aim was 2 squares. Whether I got 2 squares done on the Monday or definitely one on the Monday and then one throughout the week. And then something was just like, okay, so if I'm not going out and I'm going to be in the house all of Monday, why not just incorporate a couple more projects into that day? And so I now am considering, today is a trial day. We're going to see how it goes because it might not go well. It honestly might not go well. So we're going to trial 2 squares in my coziest memories blanket, one aspect of the secret blanket, a few rows, 10 rows, 20 rows on the commercial sock scrappy blanket, and then maybe like a super mini scrap put into my sister's scrappy blanket. Just I want to see like how it feels to be working on 4 different blankets. So I have my cup of tea. I'm now definitely not moving anytime soon because I have a cat in my lap. I just hope I can reach my iPad so that I can get the chart for the hat. And I'm thinking at least an hour on the hat. That should, by the time I stop yapping on, hopefully reach the iPad without disturbing Oogie. It should be around 10:30. So from 10:30 to 11:30, I'll try and get as much done on the hat as I can, see where I am. And then from there, I will get at least 1 square done on the coziest memories blanket, preferably 2, but by that point I will need to move. So Oogie will need to have completed her nap on my lap. She's got the whole rest of the sofa. She has the whole rest of the sofa. It's not like I'm moving her and just taking away her bed. I'm just taking away her human bed. But yeah, I think today I would like to take a yarn out of the yarn advent I bought. I think that would be really fun. And then I'm going to dig out the secret project, which I guess now y'all know is a blanket. And then my sister's blanket. And also the socky. So, oh goodness, it's not socky. I might call it socky now. The scrappy commercial sock yarn blanket. I'm just going to call it the socky blanket. It's so much easier. But yeah, just wanted to get the vlog started for today. Hopefully it will be a productive day. If I do go out, it's purely to go to the pharmacy, which is just a very quick walk from the house. I need like a nasal spray. I've got something called post-nasal drip and it sucks. It's not nice. It's really flaring up at the moment. I need to go take an antihistamine I need to get like a decongestion spray and just hope that that helps. And yeah, me and Oogie, see if we can tilt this down just a little bit. No, that's not going to work. Oogie and I are, well, I'm going to try and reach for my iPad. She's just going to sit and make things really awkward. And I will check in an hour and let you see what I've got done. I unfortunately do not have a spare stitch marker to like mark where I am. Normally I have at least one sitting on the arm of this chair, but sorry, I've got a sneeze just sitting. Don't you hate that? Where you can just feel it in your nose and then it doesn't come. Oh, that's so frustrating. Anyway, I normally have spare stitch markers sitting, at least one on the arm of the chair, but it's either been knocked over or it's been moved or it's been used. So I'll check in an hour and I will try, like maybe use like my beginning of round marker to mark where I'm starting for the next hour so that I can show you what I get done. Until then, well, I'm going to try and get a clip of her, but I'll see you in an hour. Do you have anything you would like to say to the people? You pardon? You've just stopped putting, haven't you? Is it because of the camera or because of the microphone? Let's pop that there. Checking in over an hour later, and if I'm remembering correctly, I have 5 rows of colour work left. I think. I'm sure that's the count I had when I was wrapping up. Let's see if I can get this light to work in my favour. Not particularly. So I started on row 23 and I finished up in row 29. I've got 5 more rows to go. Then the colour work is done. I've somehow lost a stitch marker. I don't know where it is, and it shouldn't be that difficult to find because it's blue. But it has disappeared off the face of the planet, cannot be found, and Oogie is mildly hyper, so you might hear just like crazy cat playtime in a second. So yeah, spent over an hour on this. I did spend longer than I had planned. Let me just check something. Okay, you can see it a bit better without the light, only just. So again, like the colour work is lost up here in this darker purple. And I really don't think it looks like trees down here either. But again, my colour work here is horrific. Colour work up here, mildly better. But yeah, this is going to be put down for probably the rest of today, honestly. I'm feeling a little disheartened on the colour work. I'm normally really proud of my colour work. I am not proud of this. So this can essentially go up here for now. We have next up on the docket the Coziest Memories blanket. And if you watched last Monday, you'll know that we put this square in. and then I done the pink, the red, and I think I stopped recording and then I put this one on as well. That was all last Monday. And then I'm going to cough, give me a sec. And then the rest of the week I put the blue. This has some kind of like speckles in it. I don't know if you can see it very well. This orange, this variegated, and then this lovely tonal purpley blue. Because everything's backlit, it doesn't look so good. So I officially have 8 rows, 8 completed rows. So 13 by 8. Right now, it's over my feet. So I'm sitting cross-legged on the sofa right now. It's covering my feet and it's just up to my chest. I'd say that's a good blanket size for sitting on the sofa, but I want it longer, as we've already discussed. And the hope is that throughout this year, I will be able to add pretty much another 8 rows. So my maths included all of the ones I've added in. Was it 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. So my math included these 9. So I need to add 9 on top of the 104 for the year to get another 8 full rows. So this will be getting picked up today, and I thought we could open the first advent we're going to put in it. So this is a 5-gram mini skein advent that I got. Oh my goodness, this is so difficult to open. And the first colour out is this really beautiful variegated. And then after that, I will be picking a solid colour out of my cauldron of solids. This is literally a plastic cauldron. So I'll be picking a solid colour out of here. Not one that necessarily complements this, but just something that isn't already kind of like in the blanket around it. So we're going to be working over here. So the mini will go here on top of this one. And so I wouldn't want a solid colour that's kind of like purple or blue. So, and because we've got green here and we've got red here, maybe orange? I'm really limited for choices. I'm not precious about this. That is the thing. I am not precious about this at all. There are colours that are definitely more complementary, and like I've got 2 greys side by side, so I'm not precious about it at all. Let's see, what have we got? Oh, a yellow. We've not had a yellow in a while. Let's put a yellow in. That would be fun. That's like proper bright, not neon, but still bright yellow. That's going to look awesome there. So those are my 2 colours. I need to empty out my bowl. I tend to put the colours I'm going to use next in it, and all of these have been used. I need to get rid of these 2 small greens because these are useless to me. Where did I put my scales for the other day? So, we'll take these out. These now go into the mini, like, so in this container there's a yellow project bag that has a bunch of minis in it. Some are tiny, some are like really, really small quantities, some aren't. And so all of these are now going to go into that, which then goes into the secret project, and then possibly my sister's project, and then very possibly back into the Coziest Memories one. So we'll see. So I'm just going to dump them here and hope that Oogie doesn't decides she wants to play with them. She's never played with yarn before, but there's a first for everything. And I'm going to put this stitch marker, which is of a wee sheep, onto the very first purple one we done for picking this up this year. And I'm going to remove the light bulb stitch markers I have in there and attach them to this bundle, so that even when I'm taking the stitch markers off when I podcast, what I tend to do is I put a stitch marker in all the ones that are new, especially when I'm like doing a podcast or something, and I will be able to leave this one in all the way through this year and be like, okay, so this is where we started the 2026 challenge, and be able to see all of my progress, if that makes sense. So this is ready to go. I'll talk you through the other stuff. So technically I can move this as well. And then this is my project for my sister. These are all very, very small scraps, as you can see. Like, I think this is the biggest one. Yeah, that's definitely the biggest one. And this is just a scrap. Maybe that's the biggest one. This is just scrappy moss stitch. Oh, they're the same size. And this is when I have, like, apart from those two sections, when I have less than 3 grams of yarn, because I can't use 3 grams in the Coziest Memories blanket, or less than 3. But I am going to be doing like a weighing. Yep, found my skills. I'm going to be weighing the mini skeins that I'm about to put into the Coziest Memories blanket, and just triple check, because I think it's like 3.4 grams I need per square. So I can then go through the minis I have in here, and if there's any over 3.4, depending how much, they could maybe go back into the Coziest Memories blanket, especially again if they are solid colours. Okay, so what I said this morning, there was a slight mistake in what I said. I thought one of the 4 projects that I was going to be focusing on was as I started calling it, the socky blanket or something along those lines. It's not. It was my small squares crochet blanket. So I was kind of happy if it was the scrappy sock yarn blanket. And now I'm kind of like, that sucks. Like, so I don't know. I don't really want to add a 5th project for a Monday. That's a lot. 4 seemed achievable. 5 does not. But anyway, I'm going to do the Coziest Memories blanket first. I'm going to see if I can get those 2 squares done. I don't see why I won't, unless I just get distracted. And then I'm going to try to make one of the components for the secret project. And then I will just maybe pick one of these and put it into my sister's project. There's a couple of solid colours in there, so I think I'll give them a good weigh. I think these are all doubled over, and it is an absolute... I hate trying to then make it a single ball of yarn. Like a ball of yarn held single. Like, these are all held double, as you'll see. So like for this one, can I get my nail in between these? It is proving extremely difficult. So this is all held double and wound into this little ball of yarn. And I have spent more time trying to get that back to single held and wrapped up into a ball, because it just twists and then it creates so much bother. So honestly, some of these may just remain and get put into my sister's blanket. It is a loss when it comes to solid colours. Like, there's a good couple in there, but for my sanity, that's probably the right call. Anyway, I'm going to wind up the mini from the advent calendar and I'm going to get started on that. I have an Oogie who is desperate for more food, even though she's had. Again, I get the feeling this new food just isn't filling her up as much because it isn't filled with junk. We're getting her on the good food, like the 100% real good food instead of the Felix and stuff that you get in the supermarkets. So I think it's going to take a wee bit of an adjustment period, but I'm trying to be strong. I'm trying not to let her meows wear me down and give her food early. She leaves the room. She's like, oh, I heard that. Okay, I'm going to wind up some yarn and then I'm going to get the 2 squares done on this and I will check in once those are done and we will see what we get onto next. Honestly, I don't know if I want to include the small crochet squares blanket in this project. I was a lot happier at the prospect that it was going to be the scrappy sock yarn. I'm in here. I don't know if you heard her meow there. I was a lot happier when I thought it was the scrappy sock blanket, so I might swap those 2 around. Honestly, I know I shouldn't. I know I should just stick with the guns, stick with what I said, but hey ho. Hello, just checking in. I got my 2 squares finished and I really love this one. I think it's so awesome, and then the yellow is just so bright and fun. I didn't weigh this one before I started. Like, I was so eager once I wound the ball up. I was just like, I just want to cast on. But I have 1.2 grams left. And I did weigh the yellow before I started and I weighed it afterwards. So I had 21.2 grams beforehand, and then when I finished I had 17.6. So that is 3.6 grams for that square. And then if I had 5 grams on the button for this one, then that was 3.8 grams I used for this one. But that was like a beginning of round. So maybe it's used just a smidgen more yarn. But I think to be on the safe side, if I have 4 grams, then it can go in this blanket. Anything less than 4 grams, I don't think I will risk it, because I have already put in, like, started a square only to find out I didn't have enough yarn halfway through, and I don't really want to repeat that. So I reckon it has to be 4 grams or more to be going into the Coziest Memories blanket. I have started a piece for the secret project. I'm going to probably work on that for however long that takes to complete. And then I honestly think I'm just going to randomly pick a ball out of here and just put it in my sister's blanket regardless. I'm maybe going to just stay away from the solids or the tonals just to be on the safe side. But my friend Maddie was here, House of Langford, if you're aware of her podcast. She was picking up some like weighted pellets for stuffies, and as she was discussing, I kind of got slightly distracted by the bag of minis I had in this box. Don't know why my voice just broke there, but I had like a full bag of minis in this, and I was just like, there appears to be a lot of solids and tonals in here. So I have just found a whole bunch of extra minis that I can ball up and get into my little cauldron of solids and tonals for the Coziest Memories blanket. So that is very handy, very good news, and makes me very happy, to be honest, because I was getting a little worried that I would just constantly be repeating all of these colours because I really don't want to go out and buy more mini skeins for this project than I have to. So if anyone's doing a mini skein swap, let me know. Right, I dropped a ball of yarn. But yeah, I love my little cauldron. It's so handy. So I'm just going to plop these on the top with the intention that they will get wound up soon, question mark. And I am going to get comfy and I'm going to try and finish the part for the secret blanket. Scott should be home soon. I'll probably start dinner shortly as well, to be honest, so that I'm not eating stupid late. And yeah, I will check in later on. I don't know if I'll show you the secret project or not, but we'll see, because it is a secret for a reason. Sorry, I've got such an itchy eye, and I know the more I itch it, the itchier it's going to get. But yeah, haven't done as much as I thought I was going to today, and this is why I didn't want to be like adding another project on top, because I haven't even got out the small squares crochet project. So we will see how we get on. I do still wish I could work on the scrappy sock yarn blanket, but hey ho, does not matter. I'm just going to take it a wee bit easier as well. For some reason, my left thumb has started to hurt a little bit, and I really don't want to re-injure myself. So I am just taking it nice and slow, seeing how I get on. If I just have to stop crocheting for the night, I'll stop. But the pain was when I was knitting. So the secret project, my sister's blanket is crochet, and then the small squares is also crochet. So fingers crossed, no more pain for the rest of the night. I will check in with you later on. Hello, sorry for the difference in audio. It is the next day. I kind of forgot to check in and give an update at the end of yesterday. So I don't really want to show off the secret project, but I'll show off my sister's blanket. And I got 5 new colours in. So from the pink, these are 2 different greens. These are the greens that tricked me on my Coziest Memories blanket. I started with this one and then it finished really suddenly, and I'm like, I have way more yarn than that. And I found out that I had then wrapped this green under, or really I'd wrapped this green over the other one, and so it fooled me into thinking I had more yarn than I actually did, which was really annoying because I was at least a good halfway through that square. So all in all, I'd say yesterday was a really, really good success. But doom scrolling and just generally being distracted by my mobile did mean I didn't get nearly as much done as I would have hoped. I certainly didn't go back to my mum's hat, not for any particular reason, just things took a lot longer, or like I say, I was distracted by my phone, I had dinner to cook, my friend popped around. So hopefully going forward, Mondays will be slightly more productive, question mark, because our life is not determined, or our life's purpose is not determined by our productivity. So, sorry, I'm looking down because I've got a really cute Oogie. Just, snuggled up next to me. She's been really good with her new food. I'm sure I said yesterday she hadn't been well. She's doing really, really good with her new food. And I've barely seen her today because she took herself back to Scott and I's bed and curled up on bed, when normally she'd like curl up on my desk because I've got a wee spot for her. But I think the office was just too cold for her, so she took herself off to a slightly warmer room. So this is the first time I'm really getting to spend any time with her today, so she's getting lots and lots of pets. I'm gonna cover her up with her blanket shortly. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on and basically sign off because I didn't do it yesterday, and just show you the update. Again, not showing you the secret project, but y'all now know it's a blanket. But yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to work on today. I have so many different projects. I think I'm going to try and get the last 5 rows of the colour work done on my mum's hat. Hopefully I'll be able to show that off in a podcast soon. And then I don't know what I'll work on. I might start that second sock and get those socks underway. But who knows? At this point, even I don't know. I'm not being coy about it. I'm not trying to be interesting about it. I literally don't know what I want to work on. But soon enough, I will be starting dinner. And then Scott's gaming with his friend tonight. So it's just going to be Oogie and I. And we will see. But thank you so much for watching. Until my next video, please do stay safe. And it's goodbye from me. And goodbye from her. She's just so cute. Bye, everyone.